Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, we got an absolutely magnificent show coming your way today. We got this guest. He's dear to my heart because he served in the military. You know how I feel about veterans. Served in the military, doing so many great things, writing books. I'm not going to give it away right now because Michelle will get me. But I am so excited to have this guest on today and talk about some of the things that he's doing and his writings. And I tell you, how you doing, Dr. Cooley? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to have this guest on. And you know, I was reading about I read about his bio and the books that he has created, especially for the young people. And I'm excited to hear his message on what message he's trying to have the books convey, appealing to our young people. So excited to have him on the show.
I'm excited to have him on, and I looked at the video, and we're gonna show that one later on today. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, E360 Television, Transfer TV, welcome to the show. You want to be part of that conversation? All you have to do is this: go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Hey, Todd, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm always good, and I'm excited too. So that's excited times three. You ready to lock in the station? Here we go.
Just lock in everything.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and of course, my executive producer and co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley. Wow, Michelle, I am excited about the show today.
Oh, yeah. And then you have a lot in common with this guest as well. Serving you're both military veterans. So that's one of the things you have in common. And also about the youth, too. You have that in common of, the message to, not uplift the youth and also provide life lessons. So we're definitely interested and excited to have this guest on the show today.
I'm excited to have him on the show today because just like you said, his message and the things that he's doing are dear to my heart when it especially comes to our youth and young adults. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Let me say that one more time. That's 1-888-344-1170. Michelle, let's get the show started. I'm ready. And Todd, grab you about 8-9 bags of popcorn.
All right, I'm ready.
12 bags popcorn. Okay. Well, the title of today's show is Scott Hall, Stephen the Bear author. We're having a sit-down discussion with Scott Hall. He's a military veteran, entrepreneur, international motivational speaker, and author. He's going to talk about the Stephen the Bear book series and the skills and life lessons taught in the book series and how others can go about creating and publishing their own book. So again, he's an international motivational speaker and a former Air Force fighter pilot. He's dedicated 28 years of his life in service to his country before transitioning to a career as a pilot for a major airline. His passion for aviation and storytelling intertwined seamlessly in his writing, reflecting his unique perspective and rich life experiences. He created the Stephen the Bear book while camping with his grandchildren. It is a children's book series that teaches kids various skills, life lessons in a very fun way. He brings his captivating tales to life in his Stephen the Bear book series. His debut book was How Stephen the Bear Invented S'mores, followed by Stephen the Bear Learns How to Camp. And his latest book, Stephen the Bear's First Airplane Ride. Woo-hoo! It is infused with his trademark corny dad bear jokes, adding humor and warmth to each page of his books. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Scott Hall.
Hey everyone, JC, Michelle, great to see you guys.
Great to see you as well. James?
It's always a pleasure. I tell you, writing, that's one of the things that Michelle and I like to do as well. Haven't thought about the children book side of it yet, but that's probably something that I'm excited about, and just all excited about your story and all the great things that you're doing. I saw the love coming from the grandkids, and you all got absolutely happy and proud. So, hey Scott, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, uh, why you're so passionate about what you do, and how you got started in writing children's books?
Yeah, would love to. And you talk about the bad dad joke. So I have to start off with one. What kind of chocolate do pilots like?
That's a good one. I don't know.
Plain Jane. No, so I appreciate the intro. It was my pleasure and blessing to be able to serve the Air Force for 28 years. I was able to fly the A-10, was my first airplane. Went to the first Gulf War flying that as a 22-year-old young kid. That probably I wouldn't have allowed myself to valet a car, let alone fly around in an A-10. But then went over to fly F-15Cs and then ended up in F-16s after that. And then I started a career flying for a major airline. And in that process, we've been blessed with 4 boys and now 5 grandkids. So it's always a pleasure. So around the COVID time, actually around 2017, our son, Ryan, who has 3 younger grandkids, they had a stuffed teddy bear named Steven. And they would tell stories. Steven spilled the milk, Steven ate the last cookie, Steven let the cat out, things like that. So we were sitting around the fireplace having s'mores one evening, and I made up the story about how Stephen the bear accidentally bit the s'mores. So made a note of it, thought it would be a great kids book. And as we'll talk later, I think there's more people than you think out there that have always thought about writing a book or a kid's book, and they just haven't committed to doing it. And we'll talk more about, making to use your own words, the 4 C's, how you're going to create, collaborate, commit, and have confidence to move forward with authoring a book as you do. So about the time the COVID thing, whatever you want to call that, was happening, I thought I had a little bit of time and let's knock out this first book. So I went up and not only wrote the book in about 3 days, then found a fantastic illustrator, Madison Brake, blessed to find her, who really kind of made the character and stories come to light. So kind of life lessons, corny dad jokes, how to stay safe, teamwork, camaraderie, following the rules, and just safety when you're out there enjoying nature.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about is safety and following nation. Also, when we extend those, just like in your case, writing books, and we talk to our youth and young adults, they can actually visualize what you are saying, and they get off into what you're saying. So I tell you, I always have to throw a wrench in it right off the bat. So Steve, if you had to pick one adjective to describe who you are, what would that adjective be and why?
Well, I know it's not actually a proper word, but I was thinking about that, and I think Labradorism. And I know it's not a word, but I try to live life just like a happy Labrador. Always happy to see you, happy for the next adventure. Let's go do something fun. We're gonna go outside. Let's do it. So just that happiness of, hey, life's a gift and it's a present. So, and you never know how many days you get. So might as well have fun and enjoy it while you can.
And that's what it's all about. Both of us are veterans, and probably both of us got inspired to go in by different ways. Who inspired you to enter the service, and do you have any mentors that you still communicate with that led you through the ranks and just was there to mentor you on certain things?
I do, and I'd say it was my father. He retired as a Colonel Air Force as well. But my family has had a long lineage of serving. So my grandfather was Navy, my brother in the Marine Corps, our son served in the Army. So we've got every branch covered except the Coast Guard. So maybe we'll get somebody in there, and Space Force wasn't around there, but maybe we'll get someone in the Space Force. But it was just kind of a tradition of flying and being part of the military. So my dad was a pilot, and when I was initially getting into college, I wanted to be a sports psychologist. I was really interested in psychology, and I was a track athlete, so that was what was paying for school. But when I went into ROTC, I figured, well, as long as I'll fill out the psychologist part for a career and mark pilot for fun. So they picked me up as a pilot, so I got to have fun for 28 years, and I wouldn't change a bit of it.
Wow, that's great. We got somebody on the phone already. I think it's your dad. Can you put him through, Todd? Todd.
He's on.
Hello?
Say hello to him.
Hello, sir.
Well,
Can you-
I just had a basic question that I don't have the complete answer to, but I would like to know how he got the inspiration for the whole series.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Dad, love having you there. So, the inspiration came from the stories that I got from Ryan, where they would tell Stephen the Bear stories. And then from that came from, the first was the s'mores. And so the first book was how Stephen the Bear invented s'mores. And talking about inspiration was Stephen the Bear Learns to Camp. And you know that my dad, Johnny, was a big part of that, because in the first book, anytime we would go camping, or the grandkids would go camping, he'd always give us a whistle in case you got in trouble. So the motto was, if you're in a pickle, blow the whistle. So lots of inspiration from camping with my dad and having him take the boys out for camping. So lots of fantastic memories from there. So you were a huge inspiration, not only for the military, but also for some of the parts of the book.
Well, I'm proud of you, and good luck with your book.
Thanks, Dad.
That's so important. Dad and family calling in, cheering you on, so that's important.
Well, and if you don't mind, I'll share. So my dad and I went elk hunting once. Not that we're big hunters. We want to have the experience. So we didn't see anything, which is fine. But in Stephen the Bear's second book, How He Learns to Camp, Johnny the elk makes an appearance, and he's an elk walking around in a hunting vest, which I think is really kind of funny. So he's part of that second book, is Johnny the elk.
Hold that thought. We got to take a station break. I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any questions in the comments that you might have, or pick up that phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's point of view.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
On and everywhere books are sold.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. You know, first segment is always getting to know the guests. And as you see, this is a tremendous young man, and I can call him young man here, that's doing so many great things. And I tell you what, that touching a lot of lives, I can tell. You know, I can tell just by watching the short film I'm going to show you in a few minutes. You know, but I got one other question for him before we get to the book. Before we get there. Hey, Scott, you are an international motivational speaker, among all the other things that you're doing. What type of topics do you talk about?
All right. So, yes, I'm a speaker for a group called Afterburner Seminars. And it's a group of former pilots and military experts that talk about execution with the idea that no plan ever goes perfectly. So how do you plan? How do you brief that plan? How do you execute that plan? And then how do you debrief that plan to make it better? So we talk about, it's amazing how a mission objective or even a mission statement. So if I walked around your business and asked 10 people, what's your job here and what are we trying to do with the company? You better get the same answer, because if you don't, then maybe your messaging isn't right. So then how do those individuals know what to do daily to move the needle towards the goal or the mission of the company? So we help and coach and educate companies on that, and really on the debriefing standpoint, you know, how to increase execution by identifying things. And it's not always looking for a head on a platter. Sometimes businesses only debrief because they want to find the problem. But, you know, what about debriefing and looking at your successes? Why did we win that contract? Why did we win that business opportunity? How do we replicate that? So a lot of people's, you know, high five and then on a W and then walk away, and they only debrief the train wrecks. But I think you need to do both so you can get lessons learned, so you can replicate your successes and mitigate your errors.
You're absolutely right. Got a question, Brandy. Did I get that right? Brandy Marone. What would you recommend for a new author looking at starting their first book? Any glitches and anything in recommendation that you might have for?
Well, and you know, and JC, I think you can talk to this too. You know, you've written more books than I have too, but it's first do it, you know, commit to doing it and get it out there. And even if it's just for yourself. And if you look at the numbers, I think the average author from all the authors that publish, they maybe publish 50 books. And it may be for your family, it may be just for your close personal friends, but you share that story. Don't be afraid. Have the confidence to share your story and know that it, you know, at least is important and relevant to you. And then just do it. And then put some time into it. Find an illustrator if it needs an illustrator, and just have fun with it, because it's your journey and you hope other people come along. But, you know, if they don't, that's fine. It's your journey. So don't be afraid to, you know, take that step and, you know, and like you said, dream big, think big, and be big. So that applies to everything, whether it's books or life or anything you're trying to do.
Yeah. And I'll just add a little bit on to that, Brandy. How I write my books is, you know, I sit back and think about the top from the beginning to the end. And then I create a table of contents before I start writing anything. You know, just the different things that I think I might want to cover or talk about. You get all of those lined up in a table of contents and like chapters. And you can always add sub-chapters to each one of those. But just having that vision, understanding, and focus on what you want to talk about and convey to your readers is so important. You know, so I want to talk about the title of the show, Stephen, the book author. And first of all, I want to show this this clip, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it, Scott. Here we go.
One of my goals in life is to someday be a great grandpa. And when that day comes, I know who I'm taking my marching orders from.
Stephen carefully roasted his marshmallows.
The Hall family is huddled around a California campfire, but the real warmth is emanating off of Grandpa.
He is super sweet and funny.
Scott Hall wrote a children's book for his grandkids and named it How Stephen the Bear Invented S'mores.
He is the funniest guy I've ever met. He is really buff. And every time I always come over, he always puts a smile on my face.
You have your traditional.
Along with the tasty treats, Grandpa's loaded for bear with corny jokes.
What do you call a wet bear? A drizzly bear.
Anything's funny when you feed the kids this much sugar.
When I say s'more, you say yeah.
Scott's wife Kimberly goes by Gigi, and she's proud of a man who serves his family and country. Scott was a fighter pilot in the Air Force for 28 years, and during the pandemic, the commercial pilot turned from aviator to author.
COVID is turning a lot of people into grumpy bears, but your husband, he's just a teddy bear.
One big teddy bear. He is the most giving soul, and his grandbabies to him are everything.
They may be a fairy tale family, but believe me, they're not your average bears.
What's your grandpa like?
I don't have a grandpa.
That's because Grandpa only goes by the name Bear.
What's Bear like?
He's like an angel.
Oh, breaking my heart.
And Bear named the characters of his book after his grandkids.
So we have Jack the Fox, we have Lily the Raccoon, we have Hayden the Bobcat, we have Archie the Wolf, and Stella the Bunny.
So if you've ever wondered how Stephen the Bear invented s'mores and feel like eating,
Without s'mores, I don't think I would make it through quarantine.
around here,
Oh, that's so good.
it's okay
Always good.
to feed the bears.
Always very, very good.
In the Zevely Zone,
I want more.
Jeff Zevely,
Some more.
News 8.
Man, that is so cool, man. I wish my grandkids would, come around and just have that type of fun and listen to my corny jokes.
Well, when you have all that sugar and s'mores, it's easy crowd to draw.
Oh yeah, we got another caller on the line before we get off internet. We got Jeanette on line 2. How you doing, Jeanette?
I am fantastic.
So how's your day going so far? You sound all energetic.
I am, and it's a beautiful day here in San Diego.
Oh, absolutely. Every day.
Every day.
Yes. So you got a question for Scott?
I do have a question for Scott. It was really, how do you set your goals and maintain your focus? Because I know you have a very busy life as a speaker, as a business owner, and as having many, many things going on in your life. And how do you set your goals or maintain your focus and get your books launched?
Oh, hey, thanks, Janet. That's a fantastic question. I think a lot of it is having routines. Have a routine, whether this is when you wake up, this is when you work out, this is when you have your quiet time or devotion. And it seems like a lot of my ideas or planning for the day comes when I'm just spending the quiet time, whether in studying Bible or just, my prayer time. And then things come to me. This is what I should do. This is kind of my day. And then just sticking to the plan and allocate the idea of you can work hard and play hard. If you get it done, you get to go play. If you don't get it done, then you don't get to go play. So just staying focused and having that plan and running it down. And I know authors that have larger books, and my children's books are, hey, I'm going to commit to 10,000 words a month. And if you're short, double it up. Just setting those goals to help hold yourself accountable. And it also helps to have someone that kind of holds you accountable, whether it's a workout partner or someone who's proofreading your book, to, hey, you're going to be at the gym because I'm going to be at the gym, or you're going to have those 10,000 words done because I expect to edit them. So, don't do it alone. Have some accountability partners, have some friends that are in your corner, and just, execute the plan, or have a plan and then execute it.
Gotta always have a plan. Do you have another question, Jeanette?
No, I think that's awesome. Thank you for your insight.
All right.
Hey,
Thanks, Matt.
So, hey, Scott, how did when did you know that you were going to start writing your series? What inspired you to do that?
Well, a lot of it was when back in 2017, when we came up with a story, it was off the cuff I was just trying to entertain the kids about making up on a story about how Stephen the Bear accidentally invented s'mores. And then when you were talking about the book, sometimes you set up to write a book and you start a chapter and then you realize that chapter is its own book. Or, that one topic that maybe a chapter has its own life of its own, or it's a series. So as I was thinking about writing the story about s'mores, I knew there had to be a camping segment or enjoying the outside segment, but it was too big for a kid's book. So that became a second book. And the third book was just my love of aviation and a first flyer book. Why do my ears pop? How to be a good human on the airplane? Don't bring stinky food on the flight. So all those type of things that would resonate for me on, making your first child, more comfortable with the flying, with the ears popping or whatever it may be, the strange noises. So the three books came from just chapters of trains of thought. And as you know, JC, sometimes you need to stop something off, and that's a new book series because that chapter is too big or too big to just be a single chapter.
Oh yeah. And you know what? And when you write it, and a lot of times when I'm writing books, I think I have covered everything in this particular chapter, and then something else pops up, and I add on to that, or maybe another chapter. We're gonna have to take a station break, but I am enjoying this conversation with Scott Hall, and I know you are as well. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you watch. Ask any question that you might have, or pick up that phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity. Coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Country boy.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
This is a must listen for anyone who thinks they're stuck in life or needs to understand that their current situation is not their final destination. Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is the unfiltered truth to provide hope for the future by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Dr. James Cooley.
Hello. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just having such a great time with Scott Hall here and learning process. We're going to talk about this process. One of the things I want to talk to him about is how he went about creating the characters for his grandbabies that are in this book. Hey, Todd, what are your thoughts so far, man?
Well, great show. First of all, I want to thank Scott for his service to our country. And it's very awesome that he, it seems like whatever he puts his mind to, he creates. So I love that he made those books. And, that little interview he did with the grandkids, that was really cool. And I love that his one grandson that said that he was really buff.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Scott, we got Christina Gale said, great advice. It was an honor supporting Scott Hall as his book coach. Oh, that was your coach?
Yeah.
Everyone here is writing a book. Reach out to me. That's what she said, but she got to give her information for them to reach out to you.
Well, yeah, and JC, she's definitely someone I needed to give a shout out and applause and thank you for. And Christine, please put your website and contact there in the chat so people can see it. But as not only did I meet Christine at our church, found out she was an author, and she runs a fantastic authors group, Unleash Your Rising Author. So Facebook, she has a fantastic program that takes some of the unknown out of where to start, how to get it published, how to find an editor, how to market your book, how to launch it, whether it's an ebook on Amazon, to get your face out there. And what I love is 100 plus people in the group that are in different stages, from finish edits, waiting for a cover, to they can't get their first title. They can't figure out what the title is going to be. But the support within the authors group, and I felt a little convicted being in that group, because they were talking about, I'm on 40,000 words, and I think my whole book only has 800. So they were definitely overachievers when it comes to the kids' book. But fantastic support group, not only as people launch, we also have people to support on Facebook and buy the books on the ebook through Amazon. But Christine Gale has a fantastic blueprint. So if anyone's looking at being an author or wants some teamwork and a camaraderie and a group to follow her plan, then don't jump the plan, follow her plan, because she's already figured out all the bumps in the road. So definitely reach out to Christine and Unleash Your Rising Author. And I know she's on Facebook under that.
Oh, yeah. So, Christine, first chance you get, if you can give me that information, I'll post it up there. Yeah. So Scott, let's talk about the process that you use, especially with Stephen the Bear. How did you go about identifying the characters? I'm talking about the fox, this, that. Do each one of your grandkids have those type of personalities? Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So I think I might have asked a couple of them, but for the most part, it was just the personalities. Jack is super smart and cunning, so he's the fox. Hayden is, going to be a world-class gymnast, and see him in the Olympics 8 years from now. I'm hoping, but he's just a fantastic athlete, like a bobcat, so he's agile. And Stella the bunny, just happy, bouncing, just full of joy, and you just love being around her. And Lily the raccoon, we have a special hug. If you remember from the TV or the show Elf, when he goes down to hug the raccoon and the raccoon jumps on his face. Anyway, so that's one of our favorite scenes in the movie Elf. So that's our special hug. So she had to be the raccoon. And then you have Archie the wolf. who's, just lovable, but strong and resilient, and just, is just a natural leader. And so that's where the characters came from. And something that is kind of one of the characters that is always present, but not really part, is Carter. So Carter is a bluebird. So Bluebird, if you go through the pages, she's on every page. She was our granddaughter that was only with us for a few days. She was born really premature, so we miss her. But so she's in the book, and she'll be found on every page, kind of like a little seek and find, but she's always present.
Wow. So when did you know that this is it? I'm talking about this is interesting. This is going to be great reading. Our viewers and our listeners and whoever bought the book or read it. When did you know that you had something there? Because your grandbabies, you can tell, they already know that you got a hole out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, the goal was, I wanted this to help build a legacy. I wanted to pay for all the grandkids' college and weddings or whatever that may be. And I appreciate the opportunity to be here to help put that out there and make that a reality. But I think, one, who doesn't like s'mores? That's low-hanging fruit. Everyone could get excited about s'mores. And as far as I can tell in doing the research, no one ever really claimed for inventing s'mores. I do have a note in the back. But, hey, why can't it be a fun-loving, fictitious bear named Steven that invented s'mores? And then the camping, again, from stories from being with my dad and camping with the grandkids out there. And then the aviation book, the first flight, was, hey, I think there's ways we can be better humans on the airplane. So hopefully, as people go through the simple rules of being a good passenger, S is seatbelts on when cheeks are in seats. I, inside voices, use them. M, manners, again, use those. P, pulling or kicking on seats is a no-no. L, listening to the flight attendants and the pilots are there to keep you safe. And then I's, E, know where the exits are and know if the lavatory is available. So those little things help kids get over some of maybe the fear and trepidation of flying. So I wanted to get that out there, and I think it would be great for especially maybe kids that are flying unaccompanied. Maybe they're traveling without a parent, or just, hey, I think if you're reading that to a toddler, maybe it makes you think about not pulling on that guy's seat in front of you.
Most definitely. Or like pulling the seat all the way back where you're hitting the person behind you.
If you do it slow, give them a chance to move their coffee. Just don't whack it back and kill his laptop and, his Bloody Mary juice all over the place.
Well, you know what? Christine has a question. She said, how do we pre-order your third book, Scott, Stephen the Bear's First Airplane Ride? Can you tell the audience how they can do that?
Yeah, so if you go to Barnes & Noble and either put in Scott Hall or Stephen the Bear's First Airplane Ride, you can pre-order the book there. But now it is available anywhere where you buy books, whether it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble. So we officially launched August 19th, which was National Aviation Day, Orville Wright's birthday. So it is out there. So wherever you Target, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, you can buy the books there. Or you can go to stephenthebear.com and buy it directly from the site there too. And we might have a discount code on there. So you can check that out too.
Well, I guess I'm asking is the characters in the book. Are there additional characters compared to the first couple of book series for Stephen the Bear?
Yes. So in the second book, we introduce my dad, Johnny Hall, as the elk. And then we also have introduced in the third book, Ryan, who is Ryan and Leela, which are the mom and dad of the youngers. And then James and Geraldine, which are the parents of the older grandkids. And they're the polar bears that they go visit in Alaska. So we've gotten family members into the book to kind of immortalize those and say thank you for all the support and love through that. And unless I start selling some books, my wife's not going to let me write a fourth one. So other family members to get in the book, I need to have some success and get some ideas of what we need for the fourth book.
Oh, wow. Hey, we have we're heading out to the break right now. I think James is going to take us to that. And we definitely are having an interesting and a fun time getting to learn about this book series and the lessons that it teaches the children, the skills as well. What do you think, James? James, you're on mute. Oh, okay. Well, he's going to take us to break, and we will be right back, audience, with our special guest, Scott Hall.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man's point of view is the
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
And I believe if you utilize these 4 C's in any organization and anything that you do, it creates this thing that I call character. Life is about character. Everything you do is about character. Character can be good and bad, but we want great character. So, as I close, I would like to thank Dale and Keith, the In and Out program. I also like to present
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life with my great guest here. I tell you, I am tip of pink. I mean, I love his work. You know, I'm just listening to it. I haven't read a lot of his work, but I mean, I can't wait to get my hands on some of it now. You know, so it's exciting, especially when we are teaching our youth and young adults, just like I mentioned. Before we get started with this, Michelle, I want to, this segment goes out to Rosati Pieces Pub in Temecula, California. I tell you, I was in California last week, and Steve Silas, Angie Silas, Steve came by and brought me a deep dish piece of meat, all type of meat and all type of vegetables in it. Absolutely delicious, mouth-watering. If you ever in Temecula, if you ever go to wine country, we got 63 wineries there. Please stop in and see Rosati Pizza Pub and tell Steve that I sent you that. He might give you a surprise. So I want to get back to this. Michelle, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you, James. Scott, I wish this book was written about the airplane ride a long time ago, because I know probably a lot of parents might have definitely needed it, as well as other passengers as well, especially teaching children, the skills and the manners that you mentioned that is taught in the book. But you know what? We got Rebecca on the line, and she's got a question for you, Scott. Bring in Rebecca.
Hi, thanks, Scott, for doing this podcast tonight. I have to say that my grandson absolutely loves your book, and in full disclosure, so do I. So my question is, as you're writing these books, I know you're writing them, for children, but there has to be an element of writing for the parents as well. Do you bring that in through, talking to your wife, talking to your adult children? How do you bring that great element in for the reader?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks, Rebecca. No, Kimberly is a big part of it, and just little life lessons, because, even you watch kids' movies, they have enough adult humor in there to make it funny. Because at the end of the flying book, when they land, they're greeted with lemon snow cones, and they're yellow. So it's just kind of the funny, like, hey, don't eat yellow snow, but the fact that they're ending and their treat is lemon/yellow snow cones. I hope that gets picked up by the parents, and they think that's, that's humorous for them. So yeah, I want it to be enjoyable and get some of the humor for the parent side, but still make it clean and wholesome, corny dad joke type stuff, but also be a life lesson for the kids.
Wow.
Great. Thank you.
Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca. I just had a funny thought, Scott, that, every airplane ride, you just advertise the book to all the parents on the plane. Say, get this book. It will help your kid learn life lessons and manners and just certain things about being on usually your first airplane ride. So I just thought about that on top of my head.
No, and amen. I would love, and if any of the airlines out there want to pick up a version of it and hand it out on airplanes, I'd be happy to do that. But I also have to say that on the characters, I would be remiss to say that two of our other sons were in the book that I didn't mention. So one is JD, and he's in the third book, the first airplane ride. So he's in there. And then the second book is our son, Peter, who was a Calf Scout in the military. So he's their guide in the outside. And if you look closely in the illustration, you'll see that he's wearing his cavalry scout hat, his army hat in the book. So, shout out to both of them as well.
So
I can't hear you, Michelle. You kind of breaking up.
Can you hear me, Scott?
No.
I can now. You were muted.
Okay, your books, it talks about kindness and friendship. What feedback have you, not only have you gotten from the parents in the previous book series, but what feedback have you gotten from children outside your family or the parents who are reading it and saying, this is what my child thinks and what they've received from this book?
Well, the feedback's been very, very good. And I'll share a funny story for the authors out there. When my first book came out, I was going down and I had a 1-star review in Amazon. And I was like, what's going on? So I went down, and this woman had said it was flawed from the start. And she realized that in the text, I had Jack holding a flag and Archie holding a water bottle in the text. But in the picture, it was reversed. So the child, who was 3, picked it up because he got to know the characters. So he was looking at the characters and he said, no, Mom, Archie has the flag and vice versa. So at one point, it cost me a little bit of money to change those names over, but it made me happy that the child was so engaged in the book that he knew the characters, even though we had missed the text and the name swap, he knew the characters. So that meant a lot to me that he was invested in the book, the pictures, the illustrations. Madison did a fantastic job, and what she did to make him lovable, and the depth and the seek and finds and the hide and seeks and the counting. So she did a fantastic job. So even though I got 1 star and I tried to reach out and send her a edited version, it was nice that that young reader was actually looking at the pictures and getting to know the characters by name.
Wow. We're down to the last 2 minutes. Scott, can you tell our viewers and our listeners again where they can get a copy of your book?
Yeah, anytime. Barnes & Noble, anywhere you buy books, you can get my books there. You can also go to StephenTheBear.com and buy the books there, and that's Stephen with a V. And we'd love the support, and whatever we can do. We love doing readings. If you've got libraries or if you've got events coming up, we're happy to support those if available. And if you're a nonprofit or a school or a library that might want some copies of that book, just send me an email, or JC, I don't know if they can put an email up there or link, or you can go through my website, StephenTheBear.com, to send me a link, and I'm happy to share some of those books and send those out to folks.
Yeah, so real quickly, what are a couple of takeaways you want our viewers and listeners to get from this absolutely wonderful conversation?
Oh, well, first, thank you for allowing me this platform. And, I feel truly blessed to be part of that. But hey, just the takeaway, if you've got a kid's book on your heart, get it out there. Just get it out to the world. Don't be afraid to do it. Find an illustrator. And Madison is also available, so she's fantastic. But don't be afraid. And JC, to quote you, go create, collaborate with people, get some leadership, get some mentors, commit to getting it done, and then finally have the confidence that you can be successful as you move forward. So, my takeaways are some of your words of wisdom that I'm going to incorporate in my world as well.
And Scott, we want to thank Sean and Joyce for bringing you to us. Thank you, Sean and Joyce Curry. We really appreciate that. We appreciate you coming on the show, Scott, and sharing your amazing book series and your backstory, how it all began.
Well, thank you.
I want to thank, again, just like Michelle did, thank you, Scott. I want to thank you again. I want to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for always putting together great shows. I'd like to thank my producer, Todd, back in our San Diego studio. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for taking the time to tune into the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Always, always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Actually, we are on tomorrow as well, Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Sunday 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there.
Hey everybody, Charlie Kirk here. Are you tired of the chlorine smell and poor quality of your tap water? Then pick up the phone and call Trusted Water